What's up, guys? It's Murph the Wise, and I'm back with another video. I'm gonna be reacting to Wolverine upgraded to Uru Metal. What would happen? And guys, make sure y'all comment and let me know if y'all like this video, and let me know what other videos y'all rather me make.
Be real. Getting over someone that you saw forever with, now that is a breakup.
The very metal that makes him indestructible is also slowly killing him. Adamantium is a toxic poison that keeps his healing factor working overtime just to keep him alive. Swap that man-made alloy for Uru, the enchanted ore from the heart of a dying star, and everything changes. This isn't just a stronger skeleton, it is a transformation turning a mutant into a god. If Odin Allfather descended to Weapon X and enchanted Logan's bones himself, the Marvel Universe would face a force of nature that nothing, not even Thanos, could stop. Adamantium is the gold standard for durability on Earth, a man-made steel alloy that is virtually indestructible once set. Uru is something far more ancient. Mined from the dwarf world of Nidavellir, this ore looks like bad wrought iron until it is forged. Unenchanted Uru is physically weaker than true adamantium and can be shattered with enough force. The situation shifts completely when magic is involved. Uru is symbiotic and absorbs magic like a sponge absorbs water. Adamantium is a cold, dead wall reflecting force, whereas Uru is a living conduit that strengthens the wielder. Replacing Logan's skeleton with this Asgardian ore does more than reinforce his bones. It gives him a skeleton that learns, adapts, and feeds on energy. The Weapon X program bonded adamantium to Logan's skeleton using a localized industrial process, but bonding Uru requires the heat of a star. A standard lab would vaporize instantly. To make this happen, Logan would
He would be in like star level heat. Oh my gosh, that's gonna be excruciating pain.
need to be taken to the Great Forge of Nidavellir. The dwarves, led by Eitri, would have to melt the Uru ingots in a stellar furnace. Logan's survival hangs by a thread during this process. The heat required to keep Uru molten is far higher than adamantium. His healing factor would be pushed to the absolute brink of failure. Yet, because Uru has an affinity for living things, the metal might actually choose him. It would bond to his bone surface while fusing with his life force to create a connection deeper than biology. This is the single biggest upgrade. Adamantium is toxic. Logan's immune system has spent decades fighting a constant war against the metal coating his bones. It occupies a huge percentage of his healing capabilities just to stop him from dying of heavy metal poisoning. Uru is different as it is natural, mystical, and non-toxic.
You know the feeling. You've written your first draft for an important writing assignment, and you're ready to get it past the finish line.
Once bonded, the constant drain on Logan's metabolism vanishes instantly. His healing factor would skyrocket to unprecedented levels without the distraction of poison in his blood. He would stop aging entirely. Wounds that used to take minutes to close would vanish in milliseconds. Logan becomes functionally immortal without the burden of adamantium poisoning, capable of regenerating from a single cell with terrifying speed. Raw Uru is just metal, but our scenario involves Odin himself placing the enchantment. This changes the laws of physics. Odin would likely place a rune of durability on the skeleton to make it absolutely unbreakable, surpassing even adamantium. He would proceed further. Odin's enchantments often include a worthiness clause or a power bestowal. He could enchant the clause to cut through anything, including magical barriers that adamantium glances off of. The skeleton
Would be OP if it cut through everything. Adamantium already does that to a certain degree, but everything, even magic, that would be crazy OP.
would become a holy relic. Not even the Hulk could snap Logan's claws if they are enchanted to be unbreakable by any force in the 9 realms. The metal would hum with the Odin force and glow with a faint golden aura whenever Logan gets angry. We analyze superhero physics every week. Subscribe to see who wins when we pit this Uru Wolverine against the Hulk. Adamantium has no defense against spells, so Wolverine has always struggled against magic users like Doctor Strange or Scarlet Witch. Uru turns this weakness into a strength since the metal naturally absorbs magical energy. His skeleton would absorb the energy of a fireball or curse, grounding it harmlessly. He would become a walking anti-magic field. Necro swords and mystical blades that usually slice through flesh would find their energy drained the moment they touched his claws. Logan could charge straight at a Sorcerer Supreme without worrying about being turned into a frog or banished to the Dark Dimension. Observers often wonder if Magneto can still control him. Unenchanted Uru is metallic and contains iron, allowing Magneto to manipulate it. But Odin's magic is a higher authority than magnetic fields. Magneto has struggled to lift Mjolnir in the past because the enchantment forbids it. Magneto cannot manipulate Logan's bones if Odin places a similar protection on them. He might try to crush Logan, but the magic would hold the structure firm. The Master of Magnetism would reach out to rip the skeleton from Logan's body, only to find the metal refusing to obey him. The enchantment locks the metal in place and effectively neutralizes Wolverine's greatest predator. Uru channels magic in addition to holding it. Logan could use his claws to focus energy just as Thor uses Mjolnir for lightning. Wolverine generates kinetic energy and body heat, even though he does not control the weather. The Uru skeleton could absorb and store the kinetic impact of punches and explosions. Releasing that stored energy happens when he pops his claws. His claws would discharge explosive blasts of stored concussive force on impact instead of merely cutting. He could slash the air and send arcs of golden energy flying at enemies. He effectively gains a ranged attack, turning his claws from simple knives into energy projectors that hit with the force of a falling anvil. Physical claws cannot cut ghosts. If Logan fights Vision or Kitty Pryde while they are phasing, his adamantium passes right through them. Enchanted Uru solves this problem because magic exists on multiple planes of reality simultaneously. Uru claws enchanted by Odin would slash through intangible forms, allowing him to pin a ghost to the wall or cut Vision while density shifting. This extends to spiritual entities and astral forms. Uru Wolverine could grab Doctor Strange's soul if he tried to escape in astral form. Intangibility becomes useless against him. Mass is another critical factor. Uru is incredibly dense and comparable to adamantium, yet it feels heavier due to its magical aura. Logan becomes an anchored object with Uru. The magical connection to the earth makes him nearly impossible to knock down when he plants his feet. This added density significantly increases his striking power. A punch from an Uru-laced fist carries massive weight. Dropping from a building would crater the street like a meteor rather than just cracking the pavement.
Dang.
His combat style...
I did wonder that. I wonder if it would make him a lot heavier, because he got Uru metal. Uru, I can't even speak. Uru metal. So I wonder if it would make his body even more heavier. You know? Or would it be light because it's magic? See, with magic, you got so many rules that are not important. Like, you got natural rules, like reality rules when it comes to metal, that would make sense. But with magic, it could be light and it can hit like 1,000 tons for all magic cares, you know? Like, with magic, rules doesn't matter with like reality or like you know.
Shift from agile slashing to unstoppable heavy momentum that shatters armor before the claws even cut. Uru is semi-sentient and resonates with the mind of the user. Logan's skeleton would connect to his mind just as Mjolnir knows Thor's worthiness. He could retract his claws instantly or reshape them slightly if the enchantment allows. The metal would attempt to reform if his arm breaks, pulling itself back together to aid his healing factor. It creates a partnership between mutant and metal. Logan would feel the metal supporting his movements rather than carrying a heavy burden, allowing him to fight for days without fatigue. As the Uru feeds him low-level stamina reinforcements. A danger exists beyond physical battles. Uru might amplify Logan's berserker rage, since Odin is a war god and the metal retains his memory. As Guardian warriors go into the warrior's madness, which increases strength tenfold but removes all reason, Logan might enter a permanent state of divine fury if his rage resonates with the Uru. He would become an avatar of war rather than just an angry mutant. The metal could feed on his anger, glowing hotter and brighter, pushing him to fight until no enemies remain. He might lose his humanity completely to the godlike bloodlust. Wolverine facing Thanos provides the ultimate test. Thanos can slap Logan aside or use the Reality Stone to turn adamantium bones into rubber. Logan has a better probability of success with Enchanted Uru. It is one of the few materials capable of resisting the Infinity Stones. The Infinity Gauntlet itself is likely made of Uru. Logan's claws could parry a blast from the Power Stone. He could stab into the gauntlet and damage it. His claws would be capable of piercing Thanos' skin and surviving the feedback energy, even if he cannot win a wrestling match with the Mad Titan. Adamantium is constant and reliable science, whereas Uru is magic with specific rules. The enchantments on Logan's skeleton could fade if Odin dies or falls into the Odin sleep. He could be left with heavy and brittle metal bones in the middle of a fight. Beings who can drain divinity, like Gore the God Butcher, would also target Logan. He would become part of the divine pantheon's problems. A powerful anti-magic spell.
Wow, so that will literally make him a god if he takes that, if he has Uru inside his body? I guess when you think about it, that kind of makes sense, because if the Uru is a living embodiment of magic, then it fused to your bones, then I guess it would make a lot more sense for your body to just be all together, including his healing factor, be included a god or god-like magic. But wouldn't he just be god magic? Like he'd be enchanted? Wouldn't he just be enchanted? Would he really be a god? That's interesting.
Could turn his greatest asset into dead weight and leave him vulnerable in ways adamantium never would. A Wolverine with Uru bones would inevitably get drawn into Asgardian affairs rather than staying in the X-Mansion. The character would likely adopt a new look, such as armor forged from star metal and runes carved into his flesh. He serves as a connection between Earth's mutants and Asgard's gods. Logan would be the living version of the Uru armor concept Tony Stark once built. Odin could send him as an executioner when Thor is too noble for the task. A feral, immortal creature with the blessing of the All-Father is the ultimate weapon for the 9 realms. Uru is superior to adamantium in almost every way. Removing the toxicity makes Logan a much more effective fighter. Magic resistance, energy manipulation, and unbreakable enchantments move the character from the street-level tier to the cosmic tier. The reliance on magic is a calculated risk for a man who has spent a century being poisoned by his own bones. An Uru skeleton Wolverine becomes a creature capable of hunting demons in hell or fighting gods in heaven without a scratch. Swapping adamantium for Uru creates a version of Wolverine that solves his oldest weaknesses while granting him powers he never asked for. He becomes a fusion of mutant biology and Asgardian magic. The metal might not be as scientifically hard as adamantium, but the magic makes it infinite. The most dangerous killer in the world is now blessed by the gods themselves. This remains a theoretical scenario for now.
Alright guys, that's the end of this video. Let me know if you like, comment, subscribe. But really comment and let me know if y'all like this, or if some things I need to change, or there's something different y'all want me to do. Alright, see ya. Murph the Wise, I'm out.